You're listening to Guitar Goddess Radio with Ezina, only on LA Talk Radio.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Guitar Goddess Show. I am your host, Ezina, and today we have a very special show for you because in the studio we have Wendy Sweetlove.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Wendy, how's it going?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I am so excited, you guys, because we have a debut day today. We're debuting on Guitar Goddess, Wendy's newest CD called Dirty Sunday. And I can't wait to dig into the title and all that. You guys know how I feel about that. But I'm just so excited. We're debuting Dirty Sunday. She's going to sing a couple songs for us, maybe, if we can twist her arm. And we're going to hear some of the new tracks. So you're going to hear it first here on Guitar Goddess Radio. So Wendy, tell us, how did you get started? My goodness, you're from Simi Valley.
I am.
You were a backup singer, touring all over the world with other performers. How did you transition and go into your own thing?
Well, I've always loved to be in front of the microphone and in front of the camera. My family and I always laugh about that. It's not that hard to get us in front of on a stage or in front of a camera. But I think part of it is, I moved to LA. I'm from Southern California, but I moved to LA maybe 10, 12 years ago. And, there's so many unbelievable people, talented people, as you know, here. And so some of it is about paying your dues, Mm-hmm. I love to sing, and I love to sing with other people. And so I took everything that was offered to me, And so I got these wonderful opportunities to sing with some brilliant, brilliant artists that, of course, made me a better singer. And I was always on the side writing things. And so some of it's just... you put one foot in front of the other, and then eventually things start coming to you, especially hopefully if you do a good job and you're kind to people and you show up and do the work. I feel like things start coming to you. So I got offered my first gig and I wrote a bunch of songs for it, and that's kind of how things started.
Wow. So you're coming at the industry from a little different position because you were a backup singer first, right?
Yeah. I was, but I also was a writer. I started out as a writer of poetry, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow,
so
cool.
I started out on the word side, really.
Really?
And most of the songs on the record started out that way as well. I had an idea of something I really wanted to say.
Yeah.
And I actually built a song around it that way, which is sometimes a little bit backwards, but that's
Not really.
That's how it came for me anyway.
That's so cool. And so tell me about your songwriting process. Does the lyric come first? Does the melody come first? What's your process?
Yeah. It depends on the song.
Yeah.
A lot of the songs, I had an idea first.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dirty Sunday, for example, which is the title track of the record. I was actually at a friend's house, and we had been up dancing and having drinks. And the night it was like a Saturday night, and I spent the night at her house. And I woke up the next morning, and my hair was out to here, and my makeup was all smeared, but I was happy.
Yeah.
I love those Sundays where you can kind of roll out of bed, and so I was like, oh, it's Dirty Sunday, and then I thought that would be a great song.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So that song actually came out of that wonderful feeling of, being with good friends and waking up the next day and feeling good and a little messy and you don't care.
Right.
So that song in particular, but then another song that I think you're going to play, Delilah, for example, my friend Ito, who'll be on in a little bit playing with us, we actually sat down, he and another friend of ours, they were just playing around with the melody, so they just kind of did a little jam, and I took it home and I built the song around the jam and figured out what it wanted to say and what it meant. And so that song actually started with the music.
Wow, that's really cool. I love this because sometimes, people have such a ritual and they write the same way all the time. And I love that you can write anyway. It's like give you a melody or give you a riff or whatever. And you're like, I'll take it and I'll shape it and mold it into this work of art. That's cool.
It's interesting because when I was younger, I felt that was a bad thing, because I always knew these people that wrote these beautiful melodies or played the instruments so beautifully. And so I always felt like there was something lacking in me. So it's been really fun to do this record and have friends like Ito, and because they've really encouraged me to come at it from whatever way. Don't be precious about it. Come about it from whatever way you can and make something that you love and are proud of. and that's turned into a record that I am proud of, but I didn't see it that way at first. And so I'm happy that I feel more comfortable in that and actually enjoy the process now.
I love that you said that, because I think that a lot of girls, like we have a lot of girls that write in, they ask advice and so on and so forth. And I love that you said that, because you're vulnerable and open to it coming any way it wants to come through the muse,
Absolutely.
And not judging, that it has to be this way or the other. That's really cool.
I think that women in particular, at least that's been my experience, we're so hard on ourselves.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I sort of am, but I was part of this mastermind group with 6 women. For maybe 5 years we met every month, once a month, without fail. And everyone got their half hour or an hour of focused on just on them, and we'd talk about whatever was worrying us, and then we'd all brainstorm about it. And one of the things I took away is all these women were brilliant and accomplished and doing a million things, and every single one of them was still like, I didn't get this done, hard on themselves.
Yes.
And it actually really taught me how to be kinder to myself, because I was like, oh, well, if I think that way about them, then maybe I can cut myself a break too, So I've, in the last several years, have really tried to come at a place of, well, this is my strength and this is what I do, so why don't I build something and find someone. If I can't do it, find someone to come in. There's a million brilliant people, especially where I live. You always bring in the people that you need to bring in. So I'm happy that I feel that way now.
It's so great that you say that, because I feel like as women, like you said, we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And I think also being a musician, we also put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And we compare ourselves to people who have been playing since they came out of the womb, or been singing since they came out of the womb, and not really just honoring the gift that we've been given, because they're all gifts. I mean, you have a beautiful voice, your songs are beautiful, and you guys are going to hear them in a little bit. But, I love that you're at that place where you're like, no, this is me. I feel good about me and my offering to the world. So congratulations on that.
Well, thank you. It took a while, and I have to say, the journey's never complete.
It's never complete.
I have those days where especially, thankfully I work with a lot of brilliant people, even the women that sing with me, they sing backup and on the record, but I get envy, I get voice envy. I'm like, God, her voice is so amazing, and I really work at trying to remember how grateful I should be for what I have and the gifts that I've been given and the opportunities I've been given and the support that I have. I don't think you should ever take any of that for granted.
That's so true. And this month on the site, we've been focusing on gratitude. So I'm glad you talked about that as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's like, I just feel it's so important for us as artists, to just appreciate what we have and our gifts in our community, because not everybody has that. And I just love so much that, you're not only here today, but you're bringing everybody who worked on the record with you, that whole community, and you've got Ito, who you guys will meet a little bit later, who's here, who's going to be playing with you. And I just love that. I love the music community so much, and I love when I see other artists who recognize that and are in a place of gratitude for your gift and for your community.
Yeah, it's really interesting, because I know, when I moved here, especially, it can be hard. LA,
yes,
it can be hard.
absolutely.
There's so much competition. There are negative things about the business, of course, and I know everyone that has stories of frustrating experiences. But I also feel like it's amazing how generous the music community is here.
Yes.
It's amazing. People really want you to succeed. Most people, they really want to be a part of it. They're generous. Ito actually was my guitar teacher to start out with. We met through a mutual friend, and we joke because I was not a great student because I don't practice that much. And so
I hear that a lot around here. I hear that a lot. I think it's a woman thing because we're multitasking and doing 8 billion things.
Honestly, it's true.
Yeah.
I do it when I can, but you just get busy. But he's the reason that the record actually even happened in the first place, because he was like, let's do a record, and I was like, oh, no. I was like, and I was kind of a wimp about it, and I was a little bit of a baby, and he just kind of kept going like, let's make a record. He's been a really true friend, and he kind of kept pushing it. He helped me find this wonderful producer who's a friend of his, who's become a dear friend of mine. And so it was this magical unicorn experience of getting these great people together and making something beautiful, because someone came in that believed in me and the music, and it's pretty amazing to me.
Wow, I love that, and I'm just so honored that I get to meet Ito today as well.
He's the best.
And I want to go back a little bit And talk about some of your musical influences.
Yes.
Because when I listen to your voice, you guys are going to hear, after we finish this, I promise I'm going to play a song for you. But let's talk a little bit about your musical influences and how they came to be, because they're quite vast.
They are. Well, I was raised in the church.
Okay.
Right? So my folks went to church, and when I was little, we went Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. So I grew up with a lot of hymns and gospel and, those sorts of things. And my parents grew up, they in the 50s, 60s. So I had a lot of influence, like blues and Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan, Peter, Paul and Mary, Joni Mitchell. So a lot of those sort of old folk singers that tell stories. So I had a lot of that in my blood when I started. And I have two aunts who are both PhDs, and one of them's a poet. So I kind of come by the yeah, they're amazing. They're both amazing. And my mom's brilliant, and she's also a great writer. So I kind of came by, and she was a teacher for years. So I came by this a little bit honestly.
Yeah.
So I grew up. So when you hear the songs, a lot of my songs have church influence in them, or a little bit of gospel in there, or some storytelling, songwriting, some blues. So it's all been absorbed for sure.
I love it. I love it. I want to play, I've been teasing you guys, so I want to play a song off of her debut CD, Dirty Sunday. I want to play a track called Babysitter.
Oh, the song's so fun.
Tell us about it. How did it come to be?
Well, this song actually is one of those funny things. I was watching the television, who says that? I was watching TV, and this one of the a news teaser came on. It was like tonight at 11, and it was literally said something like, "Is your babysitter have a dark past, or does your babysitter?" Where they're trying to terrify you.
Terrify the parents.
And I thought, ooh, Babysitter's Got a Rap Sheet. I thought, wouldn't that be a great song? And so when I first was thinking about it, I was like, oh, that'd be so fun. But then I started thinking about, because the babysitter meme is such a sort of, they use it in porn, and they use it. It's a very cliche sort of thing about who's good and bad. And I started thinking about what it means to be a woman, and what does it mean to be bad, and what does it mean to try to be good. And I feel like we try too hard not to upset people sometimes.
Yes.
So
Preach.
I mean, it's something that I still struggle with. And so the song became for me a little bit of an anthem about, like, you can't have this anymore. You can't have this meme anymore. It's you can't have this. You can't have it anymore for us. We're not sorry.
Yes,
anymore.
sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. So that's what the song's about, really.
Ooh, I love it.
Thank
you guys ready? Like, after an intro like that, I'm like, okay. All right, here we go. All right, Babysitter.
Mama wants to go out tonight, high heel shoes and pop-up thigh. Papa wants to give her what she needs. Knock, knock, trouble, come to the door. Big pigtails and so much more. Don't cry, baby, she's more than she seems. She wore all your diamonds, she is phosphorus. She don't look down when she speaks. She drank all your bourbon, she is larcenous. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Babysitter got a rap sheet. Oh, babysitter got a rap sheet. Babysitter got a rap sheet. The babysitter got a. Mama said, why can't you be nice? Sugar, sweet, and candy spice. Papa said, good girls never seen. Sister, only walk out the door. Don't say sorry anymore. Don't look junior trouble in skinny jeans. She wore all your diamonds. She is phosphorus. She don't look down when she speaks. She drank all your bourbon. She is larcenous. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Babysitter got a rap sheet. Oh, babysitter got a rap sheet. The babysitter got a rap sheet. The babysitter got a.
Babysitter's got a rap sheet. I love that line.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that's so
Thank
much
you.
fun.
It's
That
really
was
fun to sing.
wow. That was awesome. I
Thank
love
you.
it, love it, love it. So this album was produced by
Drew Sherrod.
Okay.
And he's amazing. He's out of Nashville now, but they were
Okay.
in LA when we started the record.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think Ito had worked with him for years on other projects, and we were trying to find the right person, and we sat down with him, and he was just from the beginning like completely on board. You know, he
Wow.
was just so in it. And the poor guy we had a whole meeting once, a whole night on what cover song to do. You know, I mean, he was just so in it, and he was involved in the graphic design.
Wow.
And he's such a kind soul. So it was a really wonderful experience. You know, and we just kind of all became, obviously, we spent a lot of time together. We became really good friends. He and Ito and I, you know, night after night talking about this and what about this and songs. And so I'm very grateful to him.
That's awesome. And tell me a little bit. You play guitar as well.
I do.
And tell us about your guitar playing.
Well, you know, it's funny. Ito and I, we joke about it a lot because I'm not a professional player. You know, I'm not a studio player.
You
And
are a
so
guitar goddess.
I am a guitar goddess.
Own it.
I do. You know, it's funny. I love to play.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I've been playing in bits and pieces for years. You know, I'll pick it up and I'm my own worst enemy, as I'm sure a lot of people are. You know, I pick it up and I'm like, that's terrible, and I put it down for a while, and then I pick it up and I'm like, that's terrible, I put it down. So I'm really working on. Ito's like, you do play. Stop saying you don't. I'm like, okay, you're right. So I'm really working on owning that.
Yes.
I love the guitar. It's such a beautiful instrument. You know, it's such a my dad actually, when I was a little girl, my dad used to sing folk songs to me. He'd pick up the guitar and sing folk songs to me. There's a picture. I'll see if I can find it. I'm a little tiny baby like in a stroller, and he's playing the guitar and singing.
Oh my
to me.
gosh.
No, I know. I'm completely
That's
daddy's
so
girl.
precious.
Yeah, so I had it in me from a young age. You know, the love of music and to me it's my church. You know, it's greater than some of its parts. You can put these chords together and they're just 3 notes, but God, it moves you.
Yes.
You know, it moves you to another place. And that's what's special about it for me.
Absolutely. And what type of guitar do you play?
I have this beautiful Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an acoustic Taylor, and it's a smaller body because I have little stubby little arms.
You don't have stubby arms.
Well, they're not. They feel like they're short. So
look at how long her arms are, and she's like, I have short, stubby little arms. This is what I'm talking about. Women,
I know,
always
we do
are
it
like,
all the time.
Oh, this old thing. Like,
I know.
no,
I know.
you're gorgeous.
You know what? I have perfectly great arms.
Yes, you do.
But I'm not very tall.
Okay.
So I like the shorter, smaller body because it doesn't make me feel like I'm reaching around so far.
Yeah.
And also because I'm a woman, I can't press the guitar that far
It's
up
so
against me,
true.
which is so weird. So I kind of have to. It can't be that big, or I can't reach all the way around it.
It's so true. You know, it's so funny about guitars because this is why I'm passionate about guitars and Guitar Goddess and all the females that play, because the instrument was not made with us in mind at all.
It was not.
You know, not even close. And so there are a few guitar manufacturers, shout out to Tish over at Daisy Rock Guitars, who make, you know, guitars that fit our bodies, but most of them don't.
They don't.
You know, I used to have a Gibson, and that thing was so heavy. You know, you put that on and you put on high heels and you get on stage, and that's the workout before you've even sang a note.
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
Hurts.
Right. Your back hurts and you're like, oh my God. So I don't play with the Gibsons live anymore because I just can't, you know, I can't do it all, you know.
And you pick your battle.
You pick your battles.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So you have your Taylor.
I do.
And do you compose on that?
I do sometimes.
Yeah.
It's, you know, because it feels good in my arms.
Right.
You know, so I'll pick out. I'll do something simple usually, and then I'll bring it to someone like Ito, who's a brilliant. He played all the guitars on the record.
Oh my gosh,
Every single
virtuoso.
guitar. Yeah, he's so
Woo.
wonderful.
Wow.
And he can do any sound, and it makes everything sound great. So I will often bring an idea to someone that that can be like, what if we go to the minor seventh? You know, he comes up with these great chords, and I just would never. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
And it makes the song better. It makes it go somewhere else. So I found that that's more fun for me then, is if I get a bass going, and then I'll bring it to someone who can like give it that lift, or give it that really cool thing, or oh gosh, I didn't think of that. And that makes songwriting so much more fun for me. Oh wow, I didn't think of that. What a cool idea. Let's build on that.
Yeah. I love that. And let's talk a little bit more about that, because some of the girls are afraid of collaboration.
Oh, interesting.
So I like to talk to people who collaborate and co-write because just to let them know that it's safe.
Yeah.
There's nothing to worry about, and it's
No.
fun. And I love you. You're like, oh, he had this idea and that idea, and then it came together, and you heard what you heard. You know, that was awesome. So talk about it.
All my songs are collaborations,
Yeah.
actually, because I just feel. I always feel like the song goes to a more interesting, a better place.
Yeah.
All the lyrics are mine.
Mhm.
I'm very
Yeah.
particular about my lyrics because that's
You're
I
telling
started
the
at-
story.
I'm telling the story.
Yeah, so you gotta feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I personally, and again, it was one of those things. I felt like it was a negative about me for a long time. You know, I'm not a real writer. I mean, all those things that you tell yourself that are completely not true, but we do it anyway. And then when we started building this record, and it started becoming like when we first did the first rehearsal. Do you remember we had our first rehearsal? And some of the songs had never been played with the band, and they sounded. We got these beautiful musicians, these brilliant musicians: Carl Byron, Kerry Griffin, Ryan Roberts, and Ito, of course. And the songs came alive in a way that I had no idea they could even sound that good.
Wow.
So beautiful. And so some of the things you hear, there's a song called "Come Inside," which is on the record. It'll come out next week. The whole there's this guitar solo in there and this sort of breakdown, and that just literally came out of rehearsal. They just started playing, and I was like, "Don't touch it! Don't touch it! That's perfect! Don't do anything." So I think that collaboration really sharpens you. It makes you. I don't know. For me, it makes me a better writer. It makes ideas come that wouldn't have come. It sparks something that I wouldn't have thought of. I will say that for these songs, and if you want to get into a technical place about it, I have everyone because I actually signed the record to a licensing company recently, so they're going to be shopping for film and TV.
Wonderful,
yeah, Music
wonderful.
Alternatives, which thank you so much, Music Alternatives. I'm very
Beautiful.
thankful for. But I had all the co-writers sign over to me that I could shop the songs on their behalf. So there can come on at the end of that. There comes a little bit of like, who want to make sure if it's your
Exactly.
song that you are able to do with it what you want. But for the creative process, I love collaborating. I think it's amazing, and especially if you're starting out, I think it's a great way to start because you get other people's opinions, you get other ideas, you think of things. Again, ideas come, and what's the harm? What's the harm in bringing another mind in to see what can happen?
Absolutely. I think a lot of the fear comes from splitting.
Yes.
How are we going to split this thing? And, I think there's simple ways to do it and there's complicated ways to do it. How would you advise?
I do. I think legally, if you're sitting in a room when a song is written, legally, unless you have a separate agreement, it's my understanding that just everything gets split. So I just split everything anyway, because unless you literally write the song and you have some sort of understanding. For me, if I sit down with you and you create a song with me and that song has a life, then it wouldn't have happened without you. So why wouldn't you? I don't know. For me, it's you share it.
Absolutely.
And it makes it. Why not? Everybody's happy.
Yes.
Everything's understood. And then there's, you honor people's time. I think it's important to honor
Absolutely.
what they've given you, and then there's nothing to fight about.
Absolutely.
You know what I
It's
mean?
so true, especially when you handle it up front.
Agreed.
Excuse me, I have a very dry throat today.
No, it's
so
it's dry out there.
Yeah, today the
Yeah.
weather, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just coughing. So I apologize, everyone. I've got water over here, but not to take away at all from what you just said. I think that's really important to not fear collaboration and to just talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to split this 50-50, or we're going to split this however many people are here contributing it. There's a million ways to do it, but the thing is to not fear it, but to do it, because so much beauty can come from collaborating.
I agree. And most people, again, you're always going to hear you're always going to hear like horror stories of this terrible thing happened, and those stories are out there. And you may come across a person that you don't want to work with again, and that happens, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to walk away from things that you don't want to walk away from. But in general, everyone that I've worked with, and thankfully, I've had no, everything's been wonderful. People are, especially if you treat them fairly.
Yes.
People are generally like, cool.
Yeah.
I told
exactly.
everyone like, hey, 50-50. They're like, cool.
Yeah.
So I thankfully on this record, we haven't had any trouble, and we've tried to handle everything as respectfully as possible. I think when you do that, generally you avoid most issues.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, I'm not in the upper echelons where the lawyers get involved and things get a little trickier, but I think if you're honest and handle things with respect, I think you can avoid a lot of problems down the road.
Absolutely, and it all starts in the writing room anyways before the lawyers get involved. So
Of course.
as long as you've sorted it out, they just have to adhere to that.
Of course. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true.
So that's really, really cool. Now, your debut album
Yeah.
is Dirty Sunday, will be released on the 17th, which
Yes,
is right
next
around the
Friday.
corner.
I know.
Oh my gosh, you
I'm
guys.
so excited.
And your release party is going to be
Yes.
at the Hotel Cafe the day
Hotel
after.
Cafe
on
the day after
18th.
our release show. We're playing with our full band, and I'm really we've been bless you. It's been a
Thank
long
you.
time coming. So we started rehearsals last week.
Wow.
It's been great fun. I mean, when you bring in, it is when you work with really great people.
Yes.
It's like, oh well, that was a delight.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well,
let's
that was
do this again.
That was
soon.
easy. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Let's do it again.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's do it again.
it's been great. So
I love
I'm
it.
so excited. And tickets are on sale if anybody wants to come out. You can go to Hotel Cafe website. There's a Wendy Sweetlove show on the 18th. We have a block from 7 to 9. Alana Sweetwater is opening for me.
Ooh.
Yeah, and she's fantastic. So it's the Battle of the Sweets.
I love it.
Yeah.
There should be like dessert everywhere.
I know.
Now. Pick
that's
your
a good
sweet.
idea. That's a good idea.
I always go for the sweets. Every launch party, there's cupcakes. I don't know what my thing is with cupcakes, but
Because cupcakes are awesome.
Right.
I always go for the booze.
That's hilarious.
Cupcakes are nice. I go for the whiskey.
I love it. I love it. Say, I want to bring in Ito, your guitarist.
Yeah. Should we do a song?
Can we bring? Yes, Ito. We've been talking so much
Everyone,
about you.
ladies and gentlemen, please give it up virtually for Ito Sasson. Sasson.
Sasson.
I should say Sasson.
That's good. So, Ito, welcome to the show.
I have to say, Wendy's a much better guitar player than she gives herself credit. So, just put it out there. She can
Thank
play
you.
really well.
Thank you.
I know she can play really well. It's so interesting because we always downplay our skills as women.
Yes.
I had this
agree.
one girl come on the show, just a side note, this is really funny. She came on the show, and before she came on the show, she was like, I don't know if I really should be on a show called Guitar Goddess because I can only play, 8 guitar chords. And I'm like, what? And you hear her burning up all over her YouTube.
God.
Like, she's just killing it. She's just wailing and doing all this incredible stuff. But to her, she didn't feel that she was worthy because she could only play 8 chords. And I'm like, girl, what you do with those 8 chords is incredible. So, yes, you're definitely, a goddess. Get your butt over here. So,
It's amazing, the thing. It's too bad. It's too bad that we don't celebrate ourselves more. I try. I really
I'm
do.
trying.
I know.
I'm trying to celebrate
it's-
all of the guitar goddesses. And
Well, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. It's really fun.
yes, I'm excited. And you are playing a Hohner guitar.
Yes. This is actually an acoustic guitar from the 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
I love
and
that.
I remember when I was really, really young,
Mhm.
I heard Prince play.
Oh, yes.
Of course, I
yes.
dug in to see what he was playing.
Mhm.
It turned out the guitar that he played the most was a Hohner Telecaster from the 70s.
Wow.
So I started collecting Honors.
Of course, you have to do what Prince does.
I know, right?
Everybody has
So-
to do what Prince
yeah.
does.
That's right.
So
That's
I
right.
have 3 of them now. 2 electrics, 1 acoustic Honors from the 70s. I love them. They're great.
Wow. Well, you guys, Ito is also a teacher, and I'm going to link in the description. I'll link his info if he's taking students. He is highly, highly recommended.
He's a wonderful teacher. Honestly, he's a wonderful teacher, and I would highly recommend him. And he's a good friend. So,
Aw,
yeah.
awesome. So, what are you guys going to play for us today?
Well, we're going to do a song called Shadow Sun. Today's actually my mom's birthday.
oh, happy birthday,
birthday,
Mommy!
Mom. I hope she's
you're
watching.
watching. Happy birthday!
She might
happy
not
birthday
be
to
because
you.
she's doing fun birthday things, which I hope she's doing. But this is I think, one of her favorite songs.
Aw.
Probably because some of the other songs are a little sexy.
Okay.
And she's
And you're
she's a
still her
much
little
her-
girl.
I know. I completely understand. But this song I know she loves, and this song it's called Shadow Sun, and I wrote it with a friend of mine named Moses Toth. And this song is actually, especially with everything going on in the world, it's a little bit of my war protest song, but it's from a woman's perspective. Because there's a lot of,
Absolutely.
we talk a lot about war. We talk a lot about the military, and a lot of the protest songs were written by men, sort of about soldiers. And this particular song is more about the people that stay behind. So, I mean, obviously, I know there's a lot of amazing women soldiers who have husbands behind. So, I don't mean to make it exclusive, but in this instance, I was thinking about mothers and girlfriends. I dated someone who was in the military, And I started thinking about his mom and his sisters and people that you would leave behind, and the collateral damage that you don't see.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And all the brave wives and mothers and sisters and girlfriends and that have sent someone off to someplace dangerous. So this song is for them.
Wow, this is beautiful. All
Called
right,
Shadow
you guys.
Sign.
Shadow Sign.
It's a long way from plastic planes to a bus stop in the morning. These are hard days, it's a mother's fate. Eager boys, they love their warring. Go away now, son, from my loving arms. The years will take you far, and I'll stay and burn while you march away down the barrel of a gun. I don't want a shadow, son. I want a flesh and living one. A silver star ain't bright enough, ain't bright enough for me to see my boy, to see my baby boy. It's a long way from the bed we made, lying still in fields of morning. These are hard days when your sisters pay, 'cause the first shot is a warning. Sail away now, love, on my skin and fire. Your fear will take you far, and I'll stay and burn while you march away down the barrel of a gun. I don't want a shadow, son. I want a flesh and living one. A silver star ain't bright enough, ain't bright enough for me to see my boy, to see my lover. Hear us march and love our brother. Hear us cry and duck and cover, 'cause a purple heart don't break, yeah. No, 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 no. Purple heart can't love a mother. Purple heart can't love this lover. But a purple heart never beat for me, only bleed for me. And the red, white, black, and blue. I don't want a shadow, son. I want a flesh and living one. A silver star ain't bright enough, ain't bright enough for me to see my boy. No, 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 no. I don't want a shadow, son. I want a flesh and living one. A silver star ain't bright enough, ain't bright enough for me to see my boy, to see my baby boy. Hey,
Wow, that was beautiful.
thank you.
Wow, that was incredible. Like,
Thank you.
just the words. You know, I know so many women can relate to losing their sons and husbands.
I know.
And all of the wars. I mean, I feel like my entire lifetime we've been in one war or another. And what a beautiful way to honor
Thank you.
those families.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for that. That was great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow. How do you even continue after
I
that?
know. I mean, I should have gone with something lighter.
No, it's beautiful. It's
Thank
just,
you.
so it's thought-provoking because, you're right. The songs are always about the men going off to war and not really about the collateral damage, as you say, that they leave behind, the wives and mothers and families that are shattered from, losing.
So many families.
Mhm.
And even, even if they come back thankfully alive, then there's so much PTSD, there's injuries, there's
Absolutely.
so many families that struggle with that as well, which is a real thing, and I mean, I feel, it's cast a shadow on everyone.
Everyone, yeah, for sure. I was in New York when the World Trade Center happened.
Oh my
and
God.
I just think about how that marked the city.
Mm-hmm.
And, every year when that comes around, I'm like, okay, I kind of hold my breath a little bit. And then I think about the military families. Like, how are they dealing? Because for me, it's an annual thing that comes up where I go, but what about the families where it's a daily thing for them?
Yeah, I can't imagine.
So thank you for that music for them, and I know that it's going to do very well. I know the album's going to do very well.
Thank you.
Everything that I'm hearing is just gorgeous.
Thank you
and
so much.
You're just, wow, a breath of fresh air.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here and speak to another female musician and someone that's supporting other artists. It's such a big deal. And I really, really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, too. We're all a community. We're all one, and I'm just trying to use this platform to bring us all a little bit closer together so we can support each other. And I can't believe that this is just your debut CD that you have coming out. I mean, you sound so seasoned.
Thank you. Well, I've been around a while. Don't let the baby face fool you. I've been around a while.
You look like you're all of 10. But,
I'll take it. I am.
Yes.
I'm super young.
You're very, very young. And I think that's great. What made you decide at this point, I'm going to put out a record?
I think, this is going to sound like a really weird answer, but I'm a big fan of therapy.
Yes.
I've been seeing someone for every day or every week for almost 3 years now, and it's everything in my life has shifted. Everything in my life has shifted, and I think that if I hadn't been working with him, I don't know that this record would have been possible, because I don't know I would have been ready. I don't know I would have believed enough. I don't know if I would have, I might have sabotaged or run away, or and that's the biggest, oddly enough, the biggest thing for my creative life and my career has been that kind of work. So I think it was a combination of that. I think a lot of things have risen out of that. It's funny, and he tells me, the guy that I work with, he tells me, he says, things will start to shift and it won't make any sense. It's not like, you won't understand. It's just all of a sudden people are going to start coming to you in a different way and responding to you in a different way. And it was right about a couple years ago, Ito was like, let's do a record, and we let's do a show. It was kind of all of a sudden like, why aren't we doing this? I guess it's a little is the shorter part of a long answer. Why aren't we doing this? And it just, everything fell into place. Everyone that came in was wonderful. It was, wasn't it great? It was just
Perfect storm.
It was it was great. Yeah. But I really think that for me personally, that was, I think it gave me a foundation to be able to actually hold that space and believe that I deserve it, and believe that it was okay, and believe that I was enough, and all of those things. So that I think that's what it was.
I love that, because this is something that we're starting to talk about more, thankfully. We're starting to talk about therapy and the effects for the creative community.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Yes. And you talked earlier about being in a mastermind group. So here you have a mastermind group, or had a mastermind group. You're also working with a therapist. You find an amazing guitar instructor that believes in you. And I think that's the really important thing that artists missed. You have to have a foundation.
Absolutely.
You have to have a foundation, and you have to have someone to talk to about all the things that go on in an artist's head.
It's true. It's true. It is. An artist's head is like a tricky place to be, because you're sort of always swirling, and you're always, having an advocate is, to me, it's essential. It's completely essential, and it's been an absolute life changer for me. And even before that, I had like my mastermind group, and I'm connected with those women. We're just in a different way. Yeah. And it's, even if you have one person that believes in you, that's more than a lot of people have,
Absolutely.
And so you hold on to that, I think, and then it grows from there.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's so important. I mean, I'm in several mastermind groups. I also host a few of them. Actually, maybe I should just open this up to you guys. I've never done that before, so maybe I'll add that on the site as well. Masterminding is very important to get a bunch of women together. They may not all be in the music business. They may be in different, in my mastermind group, one of them, they're all corporate professionals. Another one, you have some women that are nurses, you have some that are, selling Airbon, or it's a cluster of people doing different things. But out of that cluster comes magic.
That's almost what you want.
Yes.
You don't want a bunch of musicians.
Exactly.
I can sit around with a bunch of musicians and talk about what's wrong.
Anytime.
My group was the same. Everyone had a different profession.
Yes.
They were all creative in some fashion,
Yes.
but everyone always, there's something about the power of a collective where we'd sit there and focus on somebody, and this person would say, no, what about this? And they, every time somebody would have a way to look at it that we hadn't looked at it before. It was magical. I miss it tremendously. I'm still hoping that it's going to resurrect, or maybe something else will come along. That's like my next. I miss it a lot.
It's interesting though, but as you change, your mastermind groups change.
Of course.
Like they say, new level, new devil. So, new level of people will come when the time is perfect.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
So, but that's like it's on my.
It's on your radar.
A lack of like a less
weird
I love
LA
you
thing
so
to
much.
Say. You said vision board. Oh my God. Are you like my sister from another mister? I love
would
this
be
so
happy
much.
to be.
Oh my gosh. Like you're saying all my things, mastermind group, therapy. Then you said vision board.
I thought it was, I always used to think it was like, but I made one and it was like, it was the coolest thing.
Yes.
And things start to show up.
Right?
Things start to show up. It sounds silly, but I swear to God, things start to show up.
They do. They do. Every time I make a vision board, my husband makes fun of me, but every time I make a vision board, about 6 months after, everything's done and I need a new one. Or it shifted and I don't want it. You know what I mean? You know how you're like, oh, I want this, and you get almost there and you're like, oh, I actually don't want that. Like, I didn't really realize it was, this.
Of course.
So it shifts. And I love this conversation so much because we don't have enough of this. I'm going deeper on this. Okay, so therapy. Because we don't.
No,
People are
true.
closed off. They don't want to share. Like, open up. We're all artists. We all have a cineplex going on in our heads. Am I good enough? Does this sound good? What do you think? Like, what do you think is like the thing that drives me up a tree? But we always ask, what do you think? Was that good? Was that good? Okay, should we change? Should we? It's all this doubt. As an artist, because when you're a gifted being and you have so many gifts, because everybody else around you, you don't see all of their gifts, you think I'm the weird one.
Of course.
And you're not the weird one.
No, we can. Somebody told me once, we compare our insides to everyone else's outsides, which I know has been a saying for a long time. But I keep reminding myself of that because it's really true.
Yes.
You look at somebody on their, especially Facebook.
Oh my gosh,
is
Facebook.
the cherry picked of the one moment when your kids aren't screaming or you're not pissed off at your boyfriend or whatever it is. It's so. I feel like it's made people. It made it harder for people to be vulnerable. It's made it harder for people to say, I'm struggling with this or that, because everybody does. Everybody does. Everybody's nervous and fearful and insecure about something, and it might be buried deeper than they know, but it's always there.
Yes.
So the more we can talk about it, especially for younger artists that are trying to come up, and don't know what to do or feel insecure, I think it's important for people to talk about these things. Like, I've been working at it for a very long time.
Absolutely. And it's okay. I mean, therapy's not a dirty word. It's a really positive one.
I think, honestly, everybody should go find. So the trick is to find the right person.
Right.
Because I know people that have gone to like bad therapists and it's almost worse.
Yeah.
So you have to find the right person. But if you find the right person, it's life changing. It really is, and it changes your art. It changes from to the point where it seems like everything all of a sudden just starts coming. And then you forget about all the work you did every week showing up and being so uncomfortable and not wanting to talk about that or not wanting to feel that or whatever it is. It's hard work.
It is hard work, and it's so wonderful to do it because you can do it clean. You don't need any drugs. You don't need any alcohol. You can just do it clean, and you can feel, and you can create from this place of clarity. And that's why I'm such a huge advocate for therapy, masterminding, vision boards, vision quests, journaling, on and on and on. Like whatever tools you need, meditation, yoga, whatever tools you need, to keep you on your path and to stay on your path. So I'm excited that you're doing this, and we kind of got off a little bit, but I'm just so excited
that's important. It's important to the art.
It is important to the art. Because I think we see people who are like, oh, they made it and, whatever, but you don't see the hard work and no one talks about the hard work. You don't hear people in interviews talking about, I worked on myself.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
To get to where I am.
It's true. And I've almost given up music a number of times, because it's like, I'm X number of years old and this and this and that. I mean, 3 years ago, I never would have thought that I'd be sitting here, that I had this beautiful record. I never would have thought, really, never. And finally some things were starting to come to pass, but I really did put in a lot of work, and I still am. I'm tired a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. You wake up tired, you go to bed tired because you're passionate about what you're doing and you believe in what you're doing and you're willing to do the work. And
although I will say, for the first time, I'm really taking care of myself. Like, I'm actually taking care of myself. I'm exercising. I'm eating well.
Good.
I don't drink that much. I know it's a terrible musician thing to say, but it's true. And it's also made a huge difference. I take care of myself.
And that's why you look 10. Like, you guys, if you could see her in the studio.
I was pure of heart.
You are pure of heart. But also you're taking good care of yourself, which is really important. Being on the road many, many years, you just see people just totally not taking care of themselves. That's all I can say. I'm just going to leave it there.
I know a lot of people that just don't, deep down, they don't actually value. They don't know how to do it because they're so busy running away. Mm-hmm. And that's the truth for a lot of people, I think, which is a shame. It's a shame that people will harm themselves because they can't bear to be with themselves, And I've been there. I'm not making judgments. I think it's maybe good to hear someone that's been through it a little bit and come out the other side, because it is possible, and that's important, I think, for artists.
Absolutely, and you're a shining example. I'm in love with this body of work. I want to hear more of it. Do we want to do another live song, or should we play Delilah?
Whatever you like.
It's your show, babe.
That's my show.
It's your show. What would you like to share with the community?
Let's play Delilah, because it's actually out on iTunes right now.
Oh,
yeah, it's been released.
Ready.
It's a single that I have out, and Babysitter actually is as well. So let's listen to Delilah, because it's so much fun with all the beautiful band.
And tell me about Delilah. Tell us the story behind
Delilah. Well, Delilah's about temptation.
Ooh,
right?
Yes.
So the story of Samson and Delilah, which, for those who don't know, Samson was this very, very strong man, and they were trying to figure out, his enemies were trying to figure out a way to bring him down. And so they sent in this woman named Delilah who tempted him and got him to tell her the secret of where he got his strength, which was his hair. And so then she drugged him and he fell asleep, and then she cut his hair and he lost his strength. And it's been a cautionary tale, of course, and that's the difficult thing for me about these stories, is this woman who is supposed to be so terrible and so bad, and and so Delilah is always told from that perspective. For me, I like temptation. There's a fun in it, and again, not like in a destructive way, but there's a fun. We hate it and we love it at the same time, and so because I grew up in the church, and that notion of temptation, which was always supposed to be bad, and it was always came from this bad place, I wanted it to be a little bit more joyful, where there are things you can enjoy. There are things that maybe you thought you couldn't enjoy that you can enjoy. And how complicated life is, in the bridge, you'll hear it, there's a section, there's like a hallelujah, and then, but I can't hurt anymore, so and life has all of that in it, it's the highs and the lows and everything in between. So that's what this song is about for me.
Wow. Here we go, Delilah.
Lying in the valley, my sins have come to haunt me. The burning at my mind, Lord, burn so fine. Love will set me free. The beauty
Delilah by Wendy Sweetlove. Debut right here on Guitar Goddess Radio. Very excited, very excited. That was great.
Thank you so much. That song's a lot of fun.
I like it. I like the twist on it.
Thank you.
That's really fun.
Thank you.
You know, it's cool how you take like the biblical stories and you make them like relevant.
Yeah.
Your music, so that's kind of fun.
I try. Well, I grew up in the church, and I went to a Bible college actually, and I have a degree in biblical studies. So I like to call myself a biblical scholar, but it comes up a lot, you know, especially in things these days. And I find that people are often very rigid in their beliefs in certain circles, and that's hard for me because that's not what I came to understand, you know, some of these stories to mean. So it's fun to take these concepts and play with them a little bit and kind of hopefully give them a little bit more joy and a little bit more life and a little bit more relevance and, you know, more humanity, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, this has been just an absolute delight for me.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful.
It's just a great show. Thank you, Ito, so much for coming as well. Yes, we're very grateful for you to have you on the show as well. And tell everybody where they can find out more about you.
Well, my website is wendysweetlove.com. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter as Wendy Sweetlove. You can find me there. Next, you can find me also on iTunes and Apple Music under Wendy Sweetlove. I have 2 singles out, Babysitter and Delilah, which you heard. And then next Friday, the 17th, the whole record drops. So Shadow Sun, you heard, and what else did we play? Oh, no, I guess we did those 3. Yeah, Babysitter. So all the songs are on the record. And then on the 18th, Saturday the 18th, we're playing at Hotel Cafe. The show starts at 7, and there are tickets on the Hotel Cafe website, and it's going to be an amazing show. So I would love, if you're free, I'd happy to have you be my guest. So,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I'm very excited. So you guys, this has been a great show, hasn't it? I mean, we went deep. We talked about therapy. We talked about, you know, the military. We talked about religion. We went all around.
We hit a lot of the heavy hitters, didn't we?
We did. I love it. I love it. We brought Ito in and we put him in the mix. You guys can see. I'm sorry. You know that I have a sore throat today. I don't know what the deal is. But anyways, we have covered a lot today. It's been a fabulous show. If you want to rewatch it, listen to it, go to guitargoddess.com. You can watch it on the site tomorrow. You can also find it on iTunes. You can find us at guitargoddess.com or everywhere on the web, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, at Guitar Goddess Co. Until next time, you guys, keep rocking.
You're listening to Guitar Goddess Radio with Ezina, only on LA Talk Radio.